Welcome to Crazy Shit in Real Estate, a weekly podcast where I walk you through some of the wildest, most unbelievable stories you'll hear from the world of real estate. If you like real estate and you love crazy, this is the podcast for you. This episode is sponsored by Follow Up Boss, one of the leading CRMs, client relationship managers for residential real estate. Tons of top producing agents and some of the fastest growing teams out there are using Follow Up Boss to increase lead conversion, eliminate busy work that you're not doing anyway, and frankly, deliver a higher class experience in real estate to everybody who chooses you as their realtor of choice. So if you're going to keep listening to this, which I know you will, there's more information and a personal review of Follow Up Boss. For more information, go to followupboss.com/crazy.
Okay, a good story from the foreclosure days. I had to do a cash for keys at a house that was in a rather sketchy neighborhood a little bit. And I rang the doorbell. This man answered. And I said, I am so sorry to tell you this. The house sold on the courthouse steps. I'm here to offer you money to help you move. The bank is willing to give you money to help you move and get a fresh start somewhere new. Very nice man. He gave me his name, his phone number, and then I went on my merry way. So over the weekend, my husband is reading the newspaper on a Saturday morning. We're drinking coffee, and he says, didn't you get a listing on Bristol Lane? And I said, yes. And he said, was it in the 200 block? And I said, yes. And he said, was the man's name blah, blah, blah? And I said, yes. And he said, he was just arrested for stealing a car that had a baby in the back seat in a car seat.
What?
So immediately I'm thinking, oh my gosh, this is like a major hardened criminal. And I was standing on his front porch and having a nice conversation with him. I had no idea. So I said, well, I guess now I don't have to worry about cash for keys because he's in jail. So we had to in California, you have to let a specific period of time go by before you can do the sheriff's eviction. I show up at the house on the day and time with the sheriff. We are in the house upstairs. And I glance out the window and I see people looting the house while we are in the house with the sheriff. People are running into the garage, grabbing whatever they can and taking off down the street with it. So I said,
while you're in the house,
we're in the house and I'm watching this whole thing. So I said, excuse me, officer, this is what's happening downstairs right now. So we go downstairs and he says, what are you people doing? And they're like, well, these are my tools. So I'm not going to let you just send them to the dump or take them all. These are my things. And we had no way to prove otherwise. But the alternative was we were going to have a clean out crew come with a big truck and take all of this stuff away. So the sheriff was like, take whatever you guys want. And we basically had a not-for-profit garage sale. So we would have left clean out later. Yeah, that was a crazy, crazy property.
So first of all, did we get the baby back? Was the baby okay?
Yes, the baby was found safe and sound.
So
can you imagine
that? But all right, so how did these people know to come loot this house at that time? Was he calling somebody from prison saying they're over there, y'all go get your stuff?
Maybe, I don't know. Maybe they all just lived on the same street and they knew what this guy did to earn money and they knew that his garage was full of good stuff. I don't know. So yeah, the garage door was open and they were just running in and helping themselves to whatever they could run off with.
I mean, I'm glad the sheriff made that choice though, because frankly, your safety would have possibly been at risk if he tried to run them off.
Yeah.
Did your safety even cross your mind right then? Or were you just too flabbergasted by this is actually happening moment?
I was just so flabbergasted and I wasn't really concerned for my safety because I was standing there with multiple police officers who were heavily armed. So I knew like, I'm just going to stand behind them and let them do their thing and maybe hide upstairs if I have to.
Oh my God.
And it was in broad daylight. So I wasn't, crazy times. And that's just one of many, many stories. There was another one where a teenager stole his dad's car. He was underage and was not yet able to drive and crashed into the house after the buyer had signed all of the loan docs, but before the money had changed hands, and like basically took out the entire front of the house. So then in the argument ensues of who's got to pay for the damages because the buyer has signed, but the money has not transferred hands yet. Because in California, it doesn't happen at the same time. That was fun. Meanwhile, the buyer has nowhere to go because the front of the house is now missing. It's wide open. Yeah, there were so many stories from those days that were just like, I can't make this stuff up. It's insane.
So in Georgia, is it the same setup as it is in California, where there's a gap between signing and recordation of the deed before the ownership actually transfers?
Nope, you get the keys at the closing table. So the buyer comes in, he signs all the documents, we hand him the key, he immediately takes possession of the house. In California, it was more like 3 to 5 business days. So if it happened over a weekend, it could be a week. It could easily be a week. If you signed on a Thursday, you might not be getting the keys until the following Wednesday.
See, North Carolina is a race state, kind of like that. We sign at the closing table, then the deed is recorded. So you don't actually get keys until the recording of the deed, which is usually same day. But if you try to close, God forbid, on a Friday afternoon and the courthouse is closed, because you don't tap your brake lights in front of those people at the courthouse. They are gone at 5 o'clock or 4:30, and it could wait till over a weekend. And so it's always interesting to me how real estate is. It doesn't seem like that big a deal until you're the buyer with your worldly goods on a moving truck. And then you got to turn the truck back into U-Haul, the dog's in the bed and biscuit over there, and the kids are at mom's house, and everything can get completely upended depending on what state you're in, which is also why you want a professional realtor wherever you are, because if you're buying things through websites, you might not know how this works. And frankly, you realtors should be educating your clients as to how this works, not at the last second. Just, a little pointing there about education. That's our second point on education. Okay, now don't forget to go try Follow Up Boss so that your business can continue to expand in professionalism, and then you can meet some more crazy people yourself. I really appreciate Follow Up Boss sponsoring this episode, but mainly I appreciate them for giving y'all double the free trial time with no credit card required. So make sure you go to followupboss.com/crazy and then let me know what you think. I'll see you guys next time. Oh, you're enjoying this little clip? Well, the rest of the story is available on any of your podcast apps. Just go search for and subscribe to Crazy Shit in Real Estate with Leigh Brown.